I just want a game where I can just make an absolute disgusting fucking monster. I don't know where I'm gonna find one like that. What the fuck was that? Spore Hero. Oh, we'll give this a shot. I'll see what that is. Huh. What the hell is that? What is a keef? Welcome to Wii Vault, a series on this channel where I take a look back at old Wii games, see if they're good, if they held up, and if they should come back today. Today's guest, Spore Hero. Spore Hero is an evolution-based video game where you start off as a little nub, and then you collect different parts and get blue crystals to use those parts and evolve, expand, grow, power up, gain new abilities with your little creature, your little spore. Can't swim yet? Play the game a little more, find some swimming parts, unlock the ability. Can't cross a path? Evolve to be able to glide over. Keep losing in fights? Evolve new body parts that allow for new attacks and different combat upgrades. And ultimately, you use all of these parts, go through different evolutions to save the world you reside on. This game was released October 6th, 2009. It was a Wii exclusive and was developed and published by EA. But let's get into the actual game. So the game starts off with a meteor shower, later revealed to be from a different planet, and they're not just your normal asteroids, as they carry these species, your character, and somebody else from a different planet. But they crash down on this planet. Blue rocks, that's you, those are good. And then red rocks, evil. And we see an entity hatch from these red rocks, who we'll come to know very soon. But we see the blue rocks, one of them crashes down near a native on the planet. We see that native evolve just from the exposure to the crystal. Then a little hatchling pops out of that rock, your character. And you're taken in by that native named Miji? Not sure. And to start off this game, you are just a little nub with 2 legs. So you start off in this game in Mushroom Valley. This kind of acts as the tutorial stage for the game. This is where you're going to learn all the core mechanics of the game. You're going to get new feet here that allow you to jump and kick. You get a mouth so you learn how to eat the healing fruit, which is how you get health in this game, and also bite your opponents. This is also the area where you learn to fight. This game's combat style is like a 1v1 combat style where you're in like a little arena, a little stage almost, just you versus them, and only one of you is coming out of there alive. You hold Z to block, you use the joystick to move around, and then you swing the Wii remote to hit the opponent. And that's the core combat you learn in this beginning stage. Now there's other little side quests throughout this tutorial area, but the main quest is meeting and then saving the chief of this village, as the chief was attacked by a creature, the same one we saw earlier, dropping these red rocks down on the chief. We see that these red rocks can kind of hypnotize those who are around it, causing them to be evil and fight you. But our character is immune to those effects and is the one tasked with breaking any red rocks we see in this game, freeing anybody from their effects. So early on when I was kind of going through this stage, you don't name your character yet, but they mentioned Chief. So Chief Keef just started playing in my head. I guess we'll go to fucking Big Chief. Bang bang. And I would just be whispering, bang bang, to myself. Young friend, Big Chief, bang bang. Let's talk to you. So after I, saved the chief, I named him Keef. Chief was already taken, so I just gave him the Keef title. This is what Keef looks like. Please be nice to Keef. Another notable quest in this game is there's like a Beauty and the Beast couple in this game where the Beast was mutated into a less imposing creature. And Beauty doesn't recognize him, pretty much rejects him. And you do something that becomes pretty important you evolve another creature. Most of this gameplay here is you evolving your own character, but here you get to affect the appearance of another. Will come, important down the line. But after all that, you move on to the next stage in this game. Probably the most important area in the game. The Ancient Grounds. Keef check. So in the Ancient Grounds, there's some minor stuff. There's like a combat trainer. And this is also the place where you have to evolve to be able to swim. Took me a second to realize that, and I was getting kind of pissed off by what was going on. Then there's the Dance Master and the Sing Master. These are motion-controlled based mini-games, which anyone who's played a Wii game knows that is a recipe for disaster. Dance Master is mostly fine. You just kind of shake either the Wii Remote or Nunchuck or both when prompted. When dancing, the Wii Remote responsiveness is fine. Not really much of a problem at all for this one. Unlike the Sing Master, where you have to harmonize with the Sing Master in this game. Which to do so, you need to point the Wii Remote either straight up, well not quite straight up, but up, forward, or a little bit down. And the responsiveness for that one in this game fucking sucks most of the time. It's not good. I would be pointing the way it's prompting me to, and the game would be like, oh, you're not. You're not. We're not reading the Wii Remote correctly. You're getting fucked. So I made this a little annoying. So this minigame took a while because you had to do it pretty much perfectly. I don't think there was much room for error to begin with in this minigame. Add on the responsiveness, and it removes no room for error. You had to play it perfectly, which it should have been easy. That should have been easy to do, but the Wii Remote responsiveness made that not the case, which isn't something the developers should have banked on. I get it. There are motion controls. Some games are cool with motion controls. Wii Sports obviously great because of the use of motion controls. But developers, you don't have to utilize every single feature a system offers. You just don't. Anyways, but now to the most important part about this stage, this area. This is where you see this idol, this huge, mostly empty silhouette of some creature that, spoiler alert, you'll be building on. You meet the sage there who tells you that this idol will at some point come to life and be the ancient guardian that this planet needs. It's just missing idol parts. In the first stage, we were already given our first idol part. We were given the feet for the idol. The other 4 parts that we're going to need to collect for this game are the hands, the mouth, the eyes, and then the weapon. So that's what most of the overwhelming majority of this game is, us going into different areas in this game and doing whatever main quest we need to do there in order to retrieve that stage's idol part. To eventually build onto this idol, make the Ancient Guardian come to life. This first area that we are sent to is Moonlight Stoneway. When you enter Moonlight Stoneway, you are ambushed by the main villain of this game, the creature we've seen earlier, Zaror. And you have to fight him here. And oh my goodness, was this a fucking chore to get through. Zaror, he packs a punch. Fuck! I guess I gotta make Keef smaller. I hate that, man. I genuinely just don't like that. This combat style isn't particularly fun. Man, I'm having a bad time. I don't like this right now. I really don't like this. I just kind of assumed that the combat system of this game sucked. I thought it was terrible because I was like, I'm getting beat. I'm putting everything I have into this. I was having just, a fine time not too long ago in combat. There must be something I'm missing. Honestly, not really. It's just the learning curve for the combat in this game takes a sharp increase when you fight Zaror. But after enough tries, you start to get a better feel for it. You're just sending in wave after wave of fighting him. I'm going to fight him. The combat trainer that's outside, you grind up with him a bit. learn a couple different techniques, and just get a grasp on the combat in this game, because I think it is pretty different than any other game I've really played, so it took a while for me to get accustomed to it. At first, I trashed the combat style. I've changed my mind on it. It's honestly pretty solid. I actually grew to pretty much. I really liked it, actually. It was very unique from other games I had played. But man, at the time, did I think it was garbage, because I just kept getting my ass beat. If that's the negative of missing, like, it's like, oh, it's not working. Okay. How did I get stunned there? How did I get stunned there? He didn't charge. He didn't charge. I didn't charge. How was I stunned? Oh, game's starting to lose me. I swear, man, when a game starts to lose me, it just goes so downhill. Please check out my Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 Wii Vault. You will see a man break. You want to see a man break? Which is what's happening right now. It's getting really fucking close. Watch that video. I show me breaking in that video. You eventually realize maybe it was a little bit more me. It might have been a little bit more me. But once I got a hold of it, was able to beat Zaror. Did rage a good bit first, but we beat him. Let's go. Get bitched, Zaror. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. And then we really get into the actual Moonlight Stoneway. Now, most of these areas that we're going to go to have a lot of overlapping quests. Like, they kind of copy and pasted a lot of them in the different place. Just fighting different enemies. This running up a hill, dodging boulder thing is in a lot of them. Beating the local tribe to earn the right to use the nest there. The nest is where you can evolve your character, so it's pretty important to have. But I'm going to focus on the unique stuff that each stage kind of offers. What was this one's? This was a tribe of singers. That's correct. I had to do that same fucking minigame again. Yay. But you kind of just regroup the scattered members of this tribe, and then harmonize all together to free the Yeti, the tribe leader for this group that was kind of frozen. You free him, give him the moon fruit that he was trying to get, and in return you get the mouthpiece for the idol. So you return to the idol, slap it on there, and then the sage will give you a pair of wings. You don't quite fly. These are more gliders than anything, but it allows you to access, these two other areas that you need to go to get these pieces, as it allows you to jump over these wider gaps to go to these places. So I got those wings. I went back into Moonlight Stoneway and then was able to access Moonlight Caverns. Keef check. This is an area, again, where I'm saving a tribe. This tribe has an affinity for shiny things. There's like a double agent mystery here where we see Zaror tempting one of the members of this tribe, but we kind of square that all away. But you satisfy this tribe's desire for shiny things and are rewarded with the eyes for the idol. Then the final new area that we go to for the idol parts is Mushroom Grove. Had to get it from Mushroom Valley. This one had its tribe leader mutated by the red crystals, so it was unrecognizable to his, almost, council. And that council was also scattered around, affected by the red crystals, and had to free and save them. As we work through this stage, we see that a disguised Zaror is directly behind this area's turmoil, more so than some of the other ones. But you free the council from the red crystals, but they still don't recognize their tribe leader. So you find a cave painting of how the tribe leader used to look with a description of him. You then go and are able to evolve the tribe leader. Now, you are not going to be able to make him look like how he was supposed to in his cave painting, but you're supposed to go off of the description that went along with the cave painting to give him that same aura that he had that made him tribe leader, which you're able to restore. The rest of the council recognizes him again. The tribe becomes whole again, and they grant you the hands for the idol. How about a Keef check? So you go back to the idol, you put all these parts on, and then the sage kind of alludes to where the final piece is. And it's actually on ancient grounds, and it's the pose master has this final part. You have to go up to the highest point in the ancient grounds, talk with the pose master, and pose with the pose master to try and get it. You know how I bitched about the singing minigame? The posing one was worse in terms of responsiveness with the Wii Remote, like properly showing what I was doing to the game. That pose one, because you had to balance, right? I would be holding still, the thing would be completely still, and it would just... So I'd have to move to stay balanced. Seem counterintuitive? That's because it is. It's because it is. We're not done with the posing, so we'll get into it again a little later. But I finally was able to do enough poses to satisfy the pose master and got the weapon for the idol, which I jumped right down, slapped it on the idol, and it awoken the Ancient Guardian. This is what my Ancient Guardian looked like. So the Ancient Guardian then begins to clear a path to Creature Beach. And you just kind of trail along with him, fight a couple little enemies with him, and give him even more parts to make him even more powerful as we reach Creature Beach. We then do get to Creature Beach, where we see Zarkator entering this giant creature, which inside this creature there's the brain of the planet and the heart of the planet. And Zarkator is attempting to get to the heart of the planet to corrupt it, to destroy the planet that we're on. So we got to stop him. But the mouth closes to that creature, so we got to kind of do some more side quests upon Creature Beach, breaking the red crystals as always. And then there's a Spiky, or I don't think it's called Spiky, Beaky? Whatever the little that little member is called. You have to give all of its species pearls that you find, and then pose with them. Why? Why force this stupid fucking minigame onto us? It makes no sense to me. I think that I had to take a break after the first pose guy in this area drained everything out of me. But whatever. Eventually gave all the pearls away. Fucking tortured myself and got through all the pose mini games. And this allowed all the people there to help open up the mouth of this creature. So the mouth opens. Boom. Zarkator pops out. We fight him. And then he runs back into the mouth. He didn't do anything inside the creature when he was first in there. Don't know why they did it like that. Would have made more sense maybe when we open the creature's mouth, he ambushes us. We get in a fight and then he runs in. Don't know why they didn't do that, but whatever. Anyways, he runs back in there, so we run in there after him and meet him at the brain of the planet. Fight him again. Beat his ass again. He runs. We leave the creature, talk to the Ancient Guardian. The Ancient Guardian is like, I'm not this hero's savior. I'm not this hero's planet. I'm not this planet's hero. You are, Keith. And you get the ultimate weapon. You just got to slap it on your character. It's going to be a little projectile attack. This is what Keith's final form, I think, looks like. I don't think I touched him after this. Pause. This is what Keith looks like. So we go back into the creature, new path unlocked, and we meet Zarkator at the heart of the planet with a bunch of crystals around him. We have to fight Zarkator 3 times. And these fights were really fucking annoying. I had to do this fight over two nights because it was draining. So during the fight with Zarkator, it never teaches you how to use the ultimate weapon, because I think you were supposed to have already evolved your character to use this projectile. I think it was just called Spit, to use that attack. I never bothered. I loved my fighting style. My fighting style, I don't think I've said it so far, where I was real defensive, real technical, right? Because if you used any heavy attack, you would be staggered and could just get wailed on. And it's super easy to dodge these attacks. So I would just lay back, let them get theirs off, dodge, wham, wham, wham. Hit him a bit, stay back. I would regen. I don't think I've mentioned that yet either. Regeneration is a thing you can do mid-combat. You just kind of levitate up into the sky and get your health back. So I would just stay back, keep my health full, let them do their strong attacks, and then wail on them when they opened up. But anyways, so I didn't know how to use the weapon, which was frustrating, because it would have helped, I think. Well, we'll get into it if it would have helped. But Zarkator, anytime he got low, he would regen. And there would always be a big gap between us when he would start it, and his regeneration was so overpowered. He would regain his health like that, dude, like fucking that. Drove me crazy. So Zarkator is healing up, and I'm like, fuck, how do I use this fucking ultimate weapon that would help? Google it, have to Google it. Game won't tell me. Googled it. Started to use it. Zarkator just dodged it, I think, every single time I used it. So it didn't really help much. So I'm just having to, close the gap as soon as I can. I have to stay on Zarkator. I have to be more aggressive in this fight than I've had to be in others. A little more offensive, because if I give him any room like I usually do with my defensive style, he heals. And it's insanely fast, and it makes this fight hella long. So I had to stay on him a little bit more aggressively, but eventually I beat him 3 times. And if you count the beach fight, the front of the mouth, and then the brain, that is 5 fights with Zarkator at the very end. And he's a villain, we saw relatively a lot of during this game. Like, he's present a lot. But man, finally beat Zarkator. You beat him. And what do? Do you kill him? No, you mercy him. You devolve him. Using the same menu for every other evolution we've done. You take away his parts, and you can do whatever you want with him. The game only requires that he has a mouth and feet, or foot, more technically. He can just have one. So I made him as minimal as possible. And this is what I turned this annoying boss into, this hard boss that I've had many fights with. And I had some respect for, because it was tough. Genuinely, not just like rage bait tough, like genuinely tough. This was a game that got rage out of me, but I didn't feel was unfair, and ultimately, looking back, enjoyed the experience. So what did I turn this disgusting beast into? This. Look at him! Oh my goodness! And that was the end of Spore Hero. What a journey. Now, there are other modes in this game, but for this series, I've always just focused on the main campaign, the main storyline, whatever the main thing of this game is when talking about it. So that's all I've gone over. So, how good is this game? In short, pretty good. Let's get into the specifics of why. I'll break this down into 3 categories like I normally do, with the story, the gameplay, and the arts. Kind of rate each category on its own, and then see how this overall stacks up as how much I really enjoyed this game. What categories, what aspects of this game did I weight heavier than others? And ultimately, just how good is this game truly? Firstly, the story, which I already went pretty much, in detail in. I'll just say what I think of it. It's very bare bones, right? And the overwhelming majority of this game is a fetch quest. Getting these idol parts to summon the Ancient Guardian, who, it's kind of a letdown of what they do. They just clear a path and then give me a pep talk. That's all they do. Now, Zarkator shows up pretty frequently throughout this game. You have a lot of interactions with that he actually does end up being a pretty solid villain for a game. Whether it's fighting him directly or him pulling the strings behind the scenes, he's pretty much always there in a way, affecting the story, which I like. And each area does kind of have its own individual plot line, some better than others. But there are enough differences for each of them to feel unique. Overall, I think I'd give the story for this game a 4 out of 10. Now for the gameplay, again, I mostly went over this already. The combat in this game is more in-depth and has more moves than I would have thought. With jabs, kicks, bites, rushes, jump kicks, spits, these projectile attacks, and regeneration. It allows for a surprisingly varied combat and allows for different fighting styles to be used in the game. I kind of already went over mine with the defensive fighting style, but even then throughout this game you have to evolve, and I had to adapt a kind of different fighting style at the end to actually beat, finish, and win the game. But this allows it to never really get too stale. A decent bit is kind of added on throughout the game, and how you make your character can really change how it feels overall. Then for the evolution, there were plenty of parts you can choose from. I think over 200, over 300, something like that. Really allowing you to really customize this character to how you want to play. Quick reminder, this is Keith. This is what my baby boy looks like. But the side quests in this game are very repetitive. Go uphill, break some rocks, fight some monsters, win a nest, which does cause it to feel relatively mundane at times. So I think overall, I'm going to give the gameplay for this game a 7 out of 10. Finally, arts. These creature designs are very endearing. I love the way all the alien tribes look in this game. I mean, look at these little guys. The Mihis, the Spikies, the Kirkats, Varacos, the Long Beaks, and so many others. And then your own character's, ability to evolve, which I've talked ad nauseum about, but, really allowing him to look however you want is going to be a huge plus in this category. And on the flip side, the way Zarkator kind of evolves and changes in contrast to how your own character is changing. You see him get bigger, more menacing, clearly more powerful as the game goes along, mirroring your own journey. And then the way the world looks. All the regions look fine. They don't feel overly unique most of the time. It feels pretty typical of what this less civilized, untouched alien world would look like that you would see in other media. So I think overall for the arts of this game, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But with those 3 categories covered, how does this game overall land for me? How do I weigh these 3 categories against each other? Overall, I'm going to give this game a 6 out of 10. Nothing groundbreaking, but still fun. But I also wouldn't really go out of my way to recommend this game to anyone, unless really prompted to. Now, why? Well, because this game's unique base mechanic of evolution allows for some great character design and choice. And it's a great idea for a game. As you go along, you truly see your character change and adapt, more so than really any other game. And being able to adapt in however you want them, with really strict limitations in how you can really do that, but you still have this true choice in how it looks and how it fights. This is probably the most unique game mechanic in any game I've covered in this series so far. This mechanic is propelled by that 7 out of 10 gameplay, like I said, in terms of how it actually plays and how it feels, and then that 7 out of 10 art that accents it by making it truly look good, which sounds simple, but very important. Now, the 4 out of 10 story, I think, can only drag this game so far down because this game, it doesn't lean into the story as much. It prioritizes the gameplay and allowing you to make whatever creature you want. Plus, Zarkator is a pretty solid villain that you're supposed to hate. And boy, do I. Fuck Zarkator till the day I die. Alright, Spore Hero complete. It will now join the completed part of the Wii Vault. Got videos up on all these games here. Damn, I've done more than I realized. But it is now time to add it to the completed section. But which game should I do a Wii Vault on next? Here is the uncompleted section. This one won't read. I'm supposed to have already done this one. This one won't read. I can track down the guitar and drum set and the microphone. I will not do Zeldas yet. This is my favorite game franchise of all time. I want to get better at making videos before I tackle this series. But I'll do anything, Wii Fit Plus. I don't have boards lying around here somewhere. Don't look at that one. I kind of want to do an easy one next. A layup, I might just do something simple. This Spore Hero one took a lot out of me. This is the remake section. Meaning, I've already made videos on these, but these were not Wii Vault videos, and I think I could just make these better already now. So I could remake these now. I plan on doing that at some point. But yeah, so that's all. That's everything. Tell me what I should do next. But that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you agreed with most, what you disagreed with most, and go ahead and tell me what other games you want me to play on this series. But let's go ahead and take a look at the next game that I will be doing in this series. But go ahead and like this video if you've made it this far. Subscribe because I got a lot of more things coming. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep gaming. Also, a huge thank you to Family Friendly Gaming. I accidentally, I don't know how, but I lost some footage during the making of this video. I lost when you're at Creature Beach and you're going into the mouth. I kind of the race against Zarkotor and then like that first fight with him in front of the actual mouth of the monster. I had lost that footage, so I went to YouTube, saw if anybody had like easy to use footage like without a face cam or anything. Well, I mean, I guess I could have still used their face cam, but Family Friendly Gaming. I asked them, they let me use the footage, saved the video. Well, I mean, I still would have made it, but you just wouldn't have seen that, which would have sucked. Thankfully, they're allowing me to use that footage. Full credit to them. They should be in the description below. Thank you so much to them.